Hello there, I'm Aldrahill, and welcome to Europa Universalis for Viking Wood. Gonna get the Norwegian Wood achievement as Norway. Now, you might notice that what I'm saying does not match up to my beautifully bearded face whatsoever. Why is this, you ask? Why? It's because I use OBS Studio to record myself when I am recording. What this means is that my microphone was unfortunately muted from my last stream, which means I did not record any of my audio. So here I am, sitting here in my recording software, editing over it, and recording my lovely voice for you now. We're going to attempt to try and remember what I was saying. So I was just talking about the fact that I was thinking I might be able to get printing press. No, of course not, I did not get printing press. That's fine, we've got colonialism. 1 out of 2 is not bad. It actually spawned in Stettin. No, not is that Stettin? Yeah, I think it's Stettin. In northern Germany, so it will actually spread to us very, very quickly. Though we are not actually friendly, it will spread to our Danish provinces in north of our own nation very quickly. My goodness, my face is very bright. Look at that. I'm quite happy with my beard at the moment, I must say. And it will spread to us relatively soon. And now we're kind of thinking about, ooh, what should we next do? Why did I open the menu? Who knows? And we're thinking about what our next plans are, because obviously we've been beating up some people for their lunch money now and again. And it's going alright. We're starting to consider some of the tech penalties and tech costs. What could we do next? I'm going through religious ideas. I'm wondering, oh, was that a good idea? Yeah, it seems okay. I think we're going to be fine. It's going to be great. So I'm just continuing to consider what possibilities could we actually take advantage of. Because as we can see, we have Teutonic Order as my vassal and Lithuania as my vassal. Meaning there's absolutely tons of provinces we can take from the Commonwealth and return cores without really having to pay any admin, which we can instead use that admin points to fill out religious ideas. Unfortunately, we're just discovering that the Commonwealth has just allied Austria and Hungary, which is absolutely insane. Why would Austria and Hungary ever ally the Commonwealth? They are their direct competitors, and they literally border them. That is such bullshit. Game, please, Paradox, why you have to do this to me? Now, I'm also considering there's any possibilities we could try and make them break their alliance, but no, of course, we cannot do that. We're also starting to think about some of the claims we have over some of the Swedish provinces. We're realizing there are a couple of claims we could still grab. And I'm just kind of considering, where could I go next? What could I do with my potential? Because at the moment, I need to be fighting and killing a lot, but I don't really have the capabilities. And then I realized that I can actually grab claims of Totenek. And by grabbing claims on Totenek, what I can do is that I can now start to actually, properly, fully invade Mexico. And we're going to need to actually do that because it's 1550, so we've been playing for 106 years now. We've done pretty well, but we really need to start picking up the pace. I don't know why I keep using the plural. There's another royal we. I mean, it's just me here. There's no team of production people behind me, for God's sake. I mean, I'm thinking about the continuation of the colonization of North America, which is great, but I really need to start conquering the Central American and Mesoamerican powers because there isn't any naval supplies there, but there's a lot of gold there. And conquering all that Mexican stuff would be amazing for total income. Because obviously they would go upstream and they would feed into me. And although they would lose a little bit of gold from privateers, the treasure fleets would be immensely useful. So now I'm just thinking about transporting additional troops so that we can maybe get some forces over to Mesoamerica. I'm excited. Because we're going to try and actually conquer a great deal. Because there's also a lot of gold. There's about 5 gold provinces in the eastern part of Central Mesoamerica. There's 2 in to the western part. There's about 7 gold provinces up for grabs in the entirety of Mesoamerica. So we could actually grab quite a lot of income. And I think that would actually be about 220 ducats, I think, per year from a colonial nation. I believe that's the equivalent. I'm not actually 100% sure. But we're continuing to think about what we can do and also considering where I can colonize. But mainly I'm like, actually, maybe I should just conquer the crap out of this. Also, getting that cocoa in the Yucatan Peninsula is very nice because then you get the really tasty cocoa bit. And I can't quite remember right now what the cocoa bonuses is, but I said it here. It'd be great if I could listen to it, but I'm not. I've done this before. You know, I've done this before. I did this twice. If you watch all my videos on my channel, you'll know that my Hearts of Iron series as New Zealand, I actually did this twice. So I had to record this twice. It's very tedious. I'm looking at the Swedes right now because they're killing some rebels. They, ooh, could I stop them? But I realized, actually, no, there's not really anything I could do because Sweden would call in too many allies. And what I need to do essentially here is I need to somehow get Muscovy in a war with me. I need to basically call Muscovy into a war with me so that they don't join Sweden. And obviously the way to do that is to attack England, call in Muscovy, and then Muscovy will actually be fighting Sweden. And that's going to be absolutely fantastic because Muscovy does actually have dual access into Sweden, so they could actually launch huge invasions. I could basically have my troops attacking England through Scotland. Oh, the problem is, though, actually, is that the Swedish and English Navy would destroy me. So I'd need to keep my troops very safe. I'd probably just need to keep them hidden in a mountain and wait for the Swedes to get destroyed by the Muscovites and then start taking them and then let the Scottish kill some people too. The problem is, how exactly do I get troops in Scotland? It's tedious, it's tedious. We'll think about that later once we get a little bit more powerful. But the thing is, in terms of growth and power, taking Commonwealth and, you know, giving provinces to them is going to be amazing. Taking the Swedish provinces is going to be amazing. And destroying England and giving to Scotland would be absolutely fantastic. And from there, it's just basically a thing of snaking into the rest of Germany. I envision probably by around 1600, I should control the majority of England. It's just a question of continuing work, you know. It's a little tricky, but I think we're going to be okay. As you can see, you can just about hear little ticks of the month of like money passing in the month. I don't think you can actually hear music. I appear to have music muted. I'm very confused as to why I did that, but you know, sometimes, guys, you know, I mean, I call myself a YouTuber. I'm not exactly, you know, a massive YouTuber. We're approaching 2,000 subs, which I'm really, really happy about. I'm really excited and ecstatic. But the thing is, I'm not some gigantic YouTuber, and I'm not as professional as I could be, and I do want to improve that. I mean, I'd love to have like a green screen behind me. I mean, if you look right now, my image, you get my wall, you get my Skyrim poster, you get my picture of pineapples that was commissioned for Swedish Pineapple on my lovely Patreon. Subscribers, donators, patrons. One of my Patreon patrons as a $20 reward to have a really lovely custom image drawn for him. I'm really glad he likes that so much. It'd be nice if I could have like a green screen, but you would lose those cool images. That you would also lose the door, which would be nice. And I don't know, it'd be nice if I could get like a private recording room or something, like a studio, but that's way in the future. But I'm not going to be able to afford a studio. I'm not going to fucking rent a studio. At the moment, I record in my study, in the room in my flat. It's a 3-room flat, for God's sake. A bedroom, the study, and the living room. Me and my girlfriend spend all our time really in the study. So, I mean, some soundproofing on the wall. Like, I'm gesturing behind me, you can't even see me. Some soundproofing on the walls would be pretty nice. So basically, I'm just about to land troops onto the Temiapolis. I've launched the invasion into the Totenex, and I'm just conquering them now. I'm thinking, oh, I probably should be able to do this with 11, and yeah, I'm probably going to be fine, because although they do outnumber me at the moment, I mean, they are Tech 6, I'm Tech 13 or something, or whatever I am, they're done. They won't be able to handle me. No way. Just yawned. Sorry about that. As you can tell, the impetus with which to do this is slightly reduced because of the fact that it's just so... Oh man, it is so tedious to do this. But, you know, I don't want to put some crap out that you guys don't enjoy, so I hope you do enjoy this commentary. Do please leave a like and a comment, and let me know what you think about this shit over commentary. The Totenex have actually just attacked me, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to lose 1,000 troops. But I realized they actually rolled really badly, and then they rolled really, really well, but they have a -2 right now, because they're attacking into hills over a river. And we actually do win with pretty moderate casualties. And then morale's crushed, and we realize we can actually grab Tech 12. Again, I'm using the Royal We, and that's the extra infantry fire and the actual better infantry. I think I'm going to grab Free Shooter here. Yeah, grab Free Shooter for the extra fire. And that fire bonus means I'm going to absolutely obliterate. When you have fire and the enemy doesn't have fire, like, just get the fuck out. They can't do anything to you. And this is going to be really nice because it's going to allow us to get a very good amount of provinces in Mexico. It's going to be 4, and we're going to allow us to basically just grab a bunch of really tasty things and form a new colonial nation. And that colonial nation is going to be like the foundation of our economy, because obviously we're going to get tariffs from it, which isn't going to be hugely helpful because the trade it gives us is not very useful. But we're going to try and control the Caribbean trade node somewhat, because obviously we're going to get the Gulf of St. We have the Gulf of St. Lawrence, obviously, and we also do have the Chesapeake Bay, which is great, but it'd be nice if we control the Caribbean. The king just died and replaced by Olav VI. He's a 4-2-3. I'm really happy with that actually, because you know it's completely average, but I'm fine with it as a score, you know. And he also has tech cost reduction. And right now I'm just saying, crap. Why didn't I wait to tech up until he was ready. I would have saved myself 5% of 600, which is 30 points. I would have saved myself 30 military points right there, but I just kind of threw it away. We roll a little bit badly, and then it starts to equalize out. That huge military tactics advantage is the main thing. Obviously, we do some really good obliteration. But then I realized I actually lose. I actually managed to lose a battle against natives. I mean, what is this? What kind of European colonizer am I? Honestly. I'm thinking, oh wow, I actually need to get some extra troops. So I take some from my colony of Santee, leave one behind so as to continue colonizing, and off we go. Wow, I move quite quickly actually because I know all the shortcuts. Now, if the AI was smarter, they would just barrel into me and stack wipe me, but unfortunately they don't seem to be, so whatever. And also I'm realizing, why did I have a 0-5 general when I have a 5-1 general I could have put with him? What the hell is wrong with me? I mean, a 5-1 general when I have a massive fire advantage. What the hell? I'm using early muskets against their, like, you know, matchlock muskets against their crappy little bow and arrows or whatever. And cannons, too. I'm an idiot, what can I say? Oh, there's the music. There's the music. Alright, and then I realized the Aztecs are actually kind of helping me out a little bit because the Totonacs are actually currently fighting the Totonacs. It's actually a very opportune time for us to be declaring war, really. We're doing quite well. Just kind of beating the pulp out of these butt faces. And then, unfortunately, we launched one dude, so we do actually get stack wiped there, but that's okay. There's always more Norwegian men when they came from. And so we do actually manage to stack wipe them this way because of the ridiculous amount of military tactics. And then from there, it's just kind of, you know, sieging everything down. Ain't no thing. Getting our transports out to blockade the Kutelekson so as to make the siege a little bit faster. And also we can get stability cost modifier reduction right now. And we don't need to core them as well. And right here I'm thinking about being able to get that 2.5% discipline and write new sagas. I mean, it's only 2.5%. I mean, not exactly going to be Prussia, but that seriously does help out in the late game. Because 2.5% is beautiful. And the actual thing I don't talk about here is the fact that our final ambition is 20% trade steering. And trade steering is going to be incredibly valuable because obviously, as Norway, we're going to be holding the Lubeck trade node. And the North Sea feeds into the Lubeck trade node. And what feeds into the North Sea? It's the Gulf of St. Lawrence, which you then feed into with Chesapeake. So my routes are going to be going Chesapeake, Gulf of St. Lawrence, North Sea, Lubeck. And that's going to be a huge amount of trade steering that I'm going to need to control. Because the Gulf of St. Lawrence and Chesapeake I'm going to have to fight over a little bit. And Lubeck and North Sea I'm going to have to fight over the UK. Oh, England rather. So being able to get better trade steering is excellent. It's going to give me a lot more ducats in the future. Just kind of continuing to siege down. We have cannons to break down forts. That's cool. And then I realized, oh my god, look at this. The English are colonizing. You dirty English. We're going to end up fully annexing the English eventually. So we'll actually inherit their colonial nation. So it's not that big a deal. And the thing about inheriting colonial nations is really interesting because what you can do. Oh, my microphone is actually picking up a bit too high. I'm going to speak a little bit further away from the mic. When you obviously fully annex a nation or force vassalize a nation with colonial nations, you actually directly inherit those colonial nations, which can actually give you massive swaths of territory, especially in the late game. And the thing is that they can actually. What you end up happening is because obviously every province you get in a colonial node, like a colonial region, every province you colonize or conquer will become part of that colonial nation. Oh, look at that. I'm searching for iron and copper. This is a very interesting historical thing, trying to rival the Swedish copper production. So I do actually click let's see what the mountains hide so we can try and get some iron and copper. I believe that has a very good chance of giving you a much improved copper or iron province. Iron would be better because iron eventually is better late game. You lose a lot of ducats and lose tax modifier for freaking 50 years. My god. Is that how long it takes? 80 years? Are you actually serious? Oh my god, I don't remember that. I didn't see that in no time. So yeah, so when you get colonial nations, what happens is that a province, every province you conquer or take or colonize will go into that colonial nation if they border it or if they're in the same colonial region. But the thing is, other nations may colonize provinces, make their own colonial nation in the same region. You might have 2 colonial nations with 10 provinces in the same region. One belonging to England, one belonging to me. And if I fully annex England, I would inherit that nation, giving me 2 smaller colonial nations in the same region. They wouldn't like go together, they would just be separate, which means you can actually get 2 merchants from them and 2 sets of tariff values. And also if they rebel, it's a much smaller army. So it's actually a lot better to do that, to have a bunch of smaller colonial nations than it is to have a bigger one. Though the problem with that is that if you don't keep up in your own power, what ends up happening is that their combined vassal strength will outweigh yours, because obviously as a nation receives a certain amount, a minimum amount of troops and money because of their power. So obviously a lot of smaller nations means more troops than one or two bigger nations. I'm just realizing they are actually allied, or rather they are vassalized by someone, so I do need to go and fight them somewhere. I'll go and beat their allies up. I'm also just going to continue to colonize the Gulf of St. Lawrence node. I really want to get to 10 provinces in that node, because once I get to 10 provinces, I will get that bonus merchant. I think in retrospect what I should be doing actually is trying to get as many provinces in the Chesapeake node as region as possible, and try to get that delightful extra merchant, because I got about 7 or 8 provinces in the Chesapeake node, and if I got to 10 I get the free merchant, and I can then pull from Gulf of St. Lawrence. That would probably be a lot better. And then I would just improve the Gulf of St. Lawrence and pull from Chesapeake with an additional merchant. Because you get an extra merchant, if you guys don't know. You get 1 extra merchant when your colonial nation has 10 provinces, which is really good. Well, 10 cities, they say. But that's the same thing as 10 provinces. Right. I spend most of my days talking. I spend teachers, you guys know, but I'm doing a lot of... I record as much as possible, and I talk... Oh, God. And I talk all the time there. But then I stream also, which I stream usually most days in the week. And I still end up talking like crazy. I must talk for like 10 hours a day. My girlfriend must be going mad from my voice. Honestly. So we're just continuing the conquest of these guys. Destroying Mesoamerica. It's going alright actually. We're managing to take quite a lot. We're going to take all their ducats and annex them. And then we're going to need to declare war on the Aztecs themselves. Before we can actually get the rest of those gold provinces. So yeah, doing okay. Unfortunately, we still can't piece them out, but that's okay. We're going to try and just destroy them as we go. I think at this point I realize actually I could just take them now regardless of their ally, because their ally has lower war enthusiasm. Yeah, it's 1553 right now. I think I am a little bit worried about my pace. I think I really do need to improve my pace a bit. I need to start snaking stuff. Obviously, once you start getting a lot stronger, you can, of course, do a lot more conquests. Once you start getting around 1750, those last 60 years, you can do a lot. But I really do need to start conquering. Obviously, I'm going to be devouring the Commonwealth of Lithuania and the Teutonic Order. But I am concerned about the lack of growth in, especially Europe. And also, I need to be colonizing into Indonesia. I need to start conquering Asia. Like right now, honestly. I need to really start snaking my way in there. I think, so I'm going to go, after this, I'm actually going to go record another episode. What I think I need to do is I need to actually start to colonize down into a Caribbean province, and use that as range to colonize down into Central America, and use that as range to colonize into Africa, and then jump into Asia. That's like 50 years of planning. But by around 1600, I need to start mass colonizing into Asia. And I think, honestly, I probably should maybe grab expansion ideas as my next idea group. Because we're obviously going to need to colonize like absolute men. And I actually, I'm starting to regret getting religious ideas. And I kind of wish I'd grabbed... expansion ideas, honestly. I can't really afford the colonists right now. So that's maybe what's kind of stopping me. I can't really afford 3 colonies. I can just barely afford 3 colonies. But, 4 colonies is a bit much. But maybe in the 5th idea group, but that, to be honest, by then most things are going to be taken. Because you do need to be getting an absolute ton of naval supplies, and obviously if you colonize something as naval supplies, that's something you don't have to take from someone else. And obviously you get a lot of power from that as well. And the tariffs from colonial nations. There's a lot of potential there. So we're just sending some troops over there to hunt for the 7 cities. As you can see, I am actually losing quite a lot of money even with my 3 colonies. So maybe expansion isn't really in my cards, because Norway is a very poor nation. Yeah, it's doing alright. Obviously, religious ideas are really useful because it actually does give us a hugely useful casus belli against basically anybody. Which is really nice. Yeah. Basically, we're hunting for the 7 cities. I'm using that to try and get some easy monarch power. Look at that. Fortunes of war. Lose war exhaustion. I do not want to gain inflation, so I just use the lower war exhaustion button. And a colony is just finished in Santee, and I believe... Do I colonize America? No, I think I go up to the Gulf of St. Lawrence. No, what I do is I grab actually the highest development province in Chesapeake. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces. So then I realize, yeah, I need to have 10 to get the merchant. So instead I'm going to grab the highest development province here. I'm just looking around. There's a 6, a 5, a 5, a 10 in Androscoggin. It's actually the highest development province that I have yet to colonize in the Chesapeake node. So I'm obviously going to run straight up there. And we're just going to send him straight up to Massachusetts and colonize that bad boy. Look at that. 10 development already. That's beautiful. I mean, obviously it doesn't help me, but it does increase tariff value ever so slightly. I mean, the sad thing about having very powerful colonial nations is the fact that I am... Oh, look at that. There's the bad mission for there's the really awful mission. 100% things could get you a lot of monarch power, but also it could just get you to lose a shit ton of money, which it just did. So I realized, actually, you know what, that's enough. I can't really afford to keep doing this. Let's just send him back. We've discovered the Mesoamerican nations we need. This is going to be enough to allow us to conquer into Mexico. And I'm saying right now, you know what, I think now we're approaching the point where we can end the episode. And I'm thinking, alright, cool. So thank you very much for watching, guys. So I was Aldrahill, and continue to be in this. Been Europa Universalis 4. Bye-bye. I did that so badly. Oh my god.